Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Tia, and if this is your first time, hey. If this is not your first time, hey. Thank you so much for just clicking this title just to see what I'm talking about. So I wanted to do a little series called Being Grateful in the Wait. It's just going to be a 3 episode little series. Just being grateful while you're waiting for the next thing to happen in your life. The first episode, which is this episode, is being grateful in the wait career. And I wanted to really talk about this because I've gone through so much in my career, in my job life, whatever you would like to call it. I guess I could call it career. I've been doing it for quite some time. So for those who do not know, I am a medical traveler slash contractor. I am a sterile processing specialist, and this year makes the 20th year that I've been doing this. Like when I say it, I'm like 20 years. But I have done so much in between that, and I wanted to touch on that in this video because because it kind of ties into me not waiting properly and not being grateful in my wait and in my journey. So I'll just give a little background. I started sterile processing way back in 2004, and nobody knew what it was, and some people still don't know what it is. And for those who do not know, I sterilize instrumentation for surgeries, for medical clinics. I've worked in hospitals, I worked in surgical centers and the like. So that's, and dental offices as well. So that's what I do. I clean the instrumentation when it comes from the surgeries. I assemble it, I sterilize it, and I distribute it back to the clinics or wherever it's supposed to go. That's just in a nutshell. So much more that goes into it. Shout out to all the sterile processing specialists out there that are working so hard to make sure that everything just flows smoothly in the hospital slash medical field. Because without sterile processing, there would be no hospitals, there would be no clinics. You couldn't go to the gynecologist's office and, you couldn't get your procedures done for your eyes. You could not get your ACL repaired. You just wouldn't be able to do very much without a sterile product, okay? So that's the background. There was so much that I wanted to do before I graduated high school. I wanted to be a journalist, and I still am not giving up that that dream, right? Because anything could happen. I mean, I'm here on YouTube talking to hundreds, thousands, maybe eventually millions of people. So that could probably still be a part of my journey. I wanted to be a meteorologist. I mean, I would have to know how to say the word to be it, right? I wanted to be a pathologist. I wanted to just be so much because I have so much to give. And I ended up sterilizing instruments. And it doesn't sound like a really fancy job. It's a very physically laboring job, but I take much pride in it. I mean, I'm still doing it, but for so long, I didn't like where I was. I was not grateful for where I was, for the education that I have received throughout this whole thing. And I was upset with myself because I procrastinated a lot with the things that I needed to do. I was annoyed with God because I'm like, when is the change coming, Lord? But he looking at me like, girl, as soon as you get tired of procrastinating and not doing what you need to do, then I'll work with you. I'm not just going to give it to you. And I had to understand that. And this is for people out there that want change in their career. And there's so many people in my field that want change, that want to do something different. And there's a lot of people that like what they do. I do like what I do, but it took so long to get to that point to really enjoy what I do. And I'm actually still looking to, I guess, add on to my career, or make the transition into doing something else. But anyway, I'll get to that. So I got into the field. I did laparoscopic instruments for like 10 years. That was like the I guess the priority instruments that I worked on. And it was cool, a little bit monotonous, but it was always management that would kind of make it a little difficult. You had a lot of halo effect going on. If you don't know what that is, it's just basically putting people above others based on what they could do for you, or just because you like the person or the people, that group of people, you would put them over top of others. And it just wasn't, it didn't make for the greatest work environment. And all of that on top of me just wanting to change really made me sad, depressed, a little bit bitter. And child, did you hear my knee cracking? I did say I was working for 20 years, child. But I just wanted something. And so instead of seeking God for counsel, instead of even sitting down with myself and actually trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I was jumping from here to there to there to here. And I still kept my sterile processing position while trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I went to school for dental assistant. This was well over 10 years ago. I went to school and I did my externship at the University of Maryland dental school. And it was just a whole thing. I took out a loan, child, that I still am working on, okay? It was just so much. And I'm like, why did I jump? Right? I just thought it was just like the greatest opportunity. I could make some more money. I could make people smile better, right? And I quickly realized I did not want to do that. If you need your teeth done, I can't give you advice on that because I'm no longer certified in that. All I could really do tell you, for real, if you're at home and you just need work done, to not go to these veneer techs. This is a side conversation, okay? Don't go to the veneer techs. Please go get your teeth done at a real dental office with a certified dentist. The best that you can do at home is brush your teeth and floss. And I mean, even I need to floss a little bit more, but I do floss very, very often. And child, if you floss and smell that string, you could smell the chicken and broccoli that you had 2 weeks ago. I promise you, brushing is not enough. It's not enough. And use peroxide, okay? Side note. But yeah, I worked in dentistry for a little while, realized I didn't like that, got a whole huge I got a whole huge I'm lost for words. What do you do? A loan. And it was like, why did I do all of this to get stuck with this loan? So anyway, I didn't listen because I went on to do pathology. I worked in a pathology lab, and I worked with cadavers. That actually was a very cool job, and I really, really love that. and just working with people that decided to give their bodies to science was very eye-opening. But eventually that school was bought out, and the whole operation was just shut down. So I had to move on from that, still working and still processing. And I just kept going back, all the while just still being, kind of frustrated with my position in life, where I was just doing the same thing. And that's the thing that I wanted to say. If you want to do something different, I think I mentioned this on my other videos, you have to step out and just do something different. If you want to do something different, you have to do something different. You can't just do the same thing day in and day out, just waiting for a miraculous change to come knocking at your door. If you go to work, come home, eat, scroll on your phone, go to sleep, get up and go to work again, which is what I was doing for the longest time, you're gonna be frustrated, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna be mad. So even if you try something and it doesn't work out, it's okay. You can say, at least I tried. I mean, just don't make the mistake of taking out a loan. Do your homework. If you can do that, or if you can pay out of pocket, please, by all means, do it. It's better to lose out on money, lose out on a little money, than to owe big with interest. Okay, that's another little side tip. So after I did the pathology cadaver lab thing, uh, what did I do? I went back to sterile processing, and I was doing that for a little while. And after that, cybersecurity and IT jobs started to bloom. And this was like 2019, around 2019, when those jobs started to bloom. And I was like, wow, maybe I, could step into this field. I'm stepping, not really doing the due diligence of looking into the positions and looking into what it takes to actually get these jobs. I'm just like, oh, this makes more money. Oh, this is a little bit easier than what I'm doing. And at that time, I was ready to do something a little bit less intense. And I still kind of, I'm still, why can't I get my words right, child? I'm still kind of wanting to do something a little bit less physical, because like I said, working in sterile processing, if you do a lot of bending, a lot of lifting, a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving. It's just a lot. You work every part of your body. You stand at least 90% of your day, especially if the facility does not have chairs. My last facility did not have chairs. We had like one chair that I would sit in like during my break when I would do my 2 o'clock talks. That was the only time I really had to sit down. After that, it was just standing up, unless you go to the bathroom or you driving home. But anyway, I wanted to do the IT thing, so not doing my homework, I went to a community college, and I did pay that class out of pocket, but I didn't do my homework because I thought that the class was like maybe 3 months. I have to take my time learning. I cannot learn super duper fast. Like, you have to take your time with me, because I just take information in slowly, piece by piece. Some people are blessed to just take information in like water, and they can compute it, they can analyze it, and they can spit it back out. And that's just not me. That's not my ministry, okay? But this class, which I didn't know until after I finished paying for it, and I don't know how I didn't know, it was only a 3-week course. Child, 3 weeks. It started in January and it ended before January ended. And I was so overwhelmed. It was so much homework. I couldn't keep up because I was still working full-time at my job. And it was just a lot. It was just a lot. The materials, I still have the textbook. I bought a CompTIA book. It was Am I saying that right? Obviously, I'm not in the field, so I may not be saying that right. But I bought the CompTIA book from Amazon. I just, I really tried, y'all. I tried. And the first day, my teacher was like, congratulations, next week you'll be taking your midterms. And I was like, huh? How? And he was like, don't worry, nobody in my class has failed, like, you can do this, blah blah blah. And mind you, at that time it wasn't that many people taking in-person classes. I'm an in-person class type of person. I'm a millennial, so I'm used to taking classes with people in it, not online. So I still have to get used to, if I ever take another class and it probably will be online, I have to get used to that. It was only 3 people in my class, and I think I was the only person that worked full time. So I was like, man, how am I do this? And it was a lot of tears. It was a lot of annoyances. It was just a lot. And so he said people didn't fail, but child, I failed, okay? I failed that class. I tried to get the work in, and by the end of the month, like, they had shut the class down early. I think like you were supposed to have until like that Sunday to turn in all my paperwork, and by that Friday they just closed it. I guess they was like, if you don't have it together, you just don't have it together. And I cried so bitterly about that, because all my money that I put into this class was gone. I failed, and it was nothing that I could do about it. So I did not give up, because it was another opportunity to get into cybersecurity, but it wasn't accredited. I assumed, me not doing and answering enough questions, I assumed that this class was going to help me get a job. Like, they would teach you what to do to get into the field, and then they would help direct you to where to go to get a cybersecurity job. That it was not the case. And this is my testimony. This is my story. So if you are the person that gave this course and you're watching this video, don't be mad, but it was a little bit scammy. But I mean, I think I was the only American taking the class, and that was not, I mean, I guess it was kind of online, but it was on Zoom, because by that time I took that class, it was like I guess like around May of 2020. So we were in the middle of, the Panorama Express. And I spent $2,500 to take that course. And I really thought that it was an investment. When I think about it, I'm like, man, that was so much money that I could have used to, I could have used it for just about anything else. But again, I wanted to do something different. I was not being grateful for where I was. I just wanted out. I wanted out of sterile processing at the time, because it was just so much going on, and I wanted to do something different. So anybody that has been had and put their money into something that they thought was going to be beneficial, and it turned out to be a scam, it turned out to be not what they thought, don't feel totally bad. You do take accountability for not doing your homework. I mean, don't feel bad, but take accountability now, okay? Because I definitely had to take accountability for that. I not only blamed myself, but I was blaming other people too. But then I had to sit back and say, like, hey, like, I really should have answered. I mean, I should have asked more questions. But anyway, it didn't work out. At the end of that class, I had to present like my my resume. Forgive me for all of the words that are not wording today. It took a lot to start this video, because I was just like, man, everything just was not going right. But hey, we're here. So forgive me for that. I was just like turning in my resume, and they sent it back like, oh, well, in order to get a job, you kind of have to say that you were a cybersecurity analyst at your facility for this amount of time. And I was like, but I wasn't. I was never that. And I was like, y'all want me to lie? Like, we lying? I didn't know that was the disclaimer. I was like, come on. And I was so sad about that, because I already gave them my money. We already took this class. If I knew that before then, I wouldn't have did it. Because, I mean, again, their credentials as non-Americans may not have been checked as fast as me being an American. I was terrified of, lying, trying to get what could have been a government job and then been found out as a fraud, right? Because that's what it was. I never worked in cybersecurity. I never had an IT job. I was just coming in as a newbie. And when I realized that, I just let it go. So that was $3,000 gone, because the class that I took at the community college was $500. All this money, child, I was just throwing down the drain because I wanted something. And I wasn't seeking God for counsel. I just wasn't. I wasn't even seeking myself for counsel. I wasn't doing the homework. And me being ungrateful for the position that I was in and just taking my time cost me a lot of money. Okay? You don't have to be like me. You don't have to do what I did. And it's a lot of people that are falling prey to these Ponzi schemes, to these pyramid schemes, working for all of these places that's going to promise you a big payout. All you have to do is get 10 of your friends and tell them that it's a big opportunity and they're going to make all this money and blah, blah, blah. It's not going to work. It's not that easy to be successful. Yes, you do have to put work in. And it's a lot of people saying like you shouldn't work as hard. And I've even said that. Like, I'm tired of working. And sometimes you just get tired. But all in all, there has to be some type of work put in, because you'll feel good knowing that all your hard work paid off and now you can enjoy where you are. So I said all that to say, take your time, do your homework, do what you have to do to get where you want to be. So after that, I kind of just went quiet. I just bit the bullet, did my job. I still was unhappy, and I was going through a lot at my job at the time. And I'll do a story time about the time that I quit my job without notice. And I know I've said that before, that story is coming. That story is coming soon. God just didn't put it on my heart to actually tell it, but it's coming because it's a twist at the end. But after that, I just did my job, and I want to say 2000, at the end of 2020, I'm talking about 2000. At the end of 2020, I was really starting to feel like I was breaking down at my job. Like, it was so mentally stressful. My actual job was not even hard. Like, I was doing pretty well. I was making great money too. I was making more money than I ever did. And I was like, wow, this is cool, but this ain't cool, because I don't like what's going on management wise. I wasn't feeling some of the things that was going on with some of my colleagues, and I was just ready for a change. So I quit. And this time I was like, okay, Lord, thank you for my job, but I can't stay here. I need your help. Uh, and I'm going to leave this place, and I need you to help me figure it out. Because so long I was trying to figure it out for myself. So long I was just moving God out the way, like, move, I could do this. I got this. Like, just let me do it, because you take it too long. And it wasn't like literally like that, but I didn't seek him. I didn't seek nobody. I didn't seek myself. I just doing things aimlessly. And it was costing me money. It was costing me my mental stability. And I was just all over the place. And so when I quit my job, I actually started, before I even quit, let me just back up. This is part of the story. This is not the whole story. So keep lookout for that video. Before I quit, I was looking for work. I was looking for another job. And on my days off, and this is what this is my advice to people that really just want to just dip out. Before you dip, have a plan B. Start doing the work now. Like, don't come home and just lay out. I mean, give yourself some time to rest. But if you are really, really wanting to change your life, you have to do something about it. Take maybe a half hour to go on Indeed or Craigslist or whatever type of job format that you go on to look for jobs, and get your resume together and put it out there. Do them applications. I don't care how long it takes. It was days that I took off from work because I knew I was about to quit. So I started using my sick time. I had so much because I didn't take off. And that's another thing. Like, if you feel like you need to take a mental break, if you need to take a sick day, you're not going to get fired for taking a sick day or two. Take off. That job is going to be there. And when you leave that job, they already will have your replacement. So take your sick days. Okay. And don't just take them to be trifling, to say like, oh, I don't feel like going to work, I ain't going up in here tonight. Take it because you really, really, really need it, not because you just don't feel like going. Like, that's not right for your colleagues to short them. Because I do believe in working with the team, because people depend on you to be there. But if you have to take off and you just like, I need a break, I'm tired, I'm physically tired, I'm mentally tired, please, by all means, take your breaks. Because at the end of the day, when you gone, they gonna be all right, and they gonna replace you anyway. So where was I? Oh yeah, when I before I decided to quit, I looked on the days that I was off. It was almost like I was working. I took the whole 8 hours putting in applications, talking to recruiters, talking to different people, just on the phones, on the computer all day. And finally, a job showed up. And long story short, I got the job, and this is a job that I got during COVID, okay? During COVID. You're not really supposed to say that word because, the algorithm be, shadow blocking you and all of that, but I don't care, whatever. I got the job, and that's when I started to see God working, because he gave me that job, first of all, during a pandemic. When everything was shut down, jobs was not hiring. That job just appeared out of nowhere, and I couldn't believe it. And it was 10 minutes from my house. It was so close, so convenient, and I was pretty much working by myself, which is what I needed. I told God I needed a break from people, and he gave me that. And I was so grateful. I was so grateful. And that wasn't it, because I would say that, during my tenure at the job that I quit, I wasn't completely grateful for where I was, because I just didn't like it. But in the job that I had gotten during COVID, that job was great for the time that I was there. I was there for about 2 years. And shout out to all of my colleagues there when I worked as a endoscopy scope specialist. I'm not going to say the name of the corporation, but people that know me, that worked with me there, hey, that was a great job. I worked alone for the most part, and it was a place that I needed to just go away for a while and just be quiet and do my own thing. And I learned a lot just being there. And it was great, and I was grateful. That's where the gratefulness came in. I was just so thankful to God that he gave me what I needed, and I didn't even know that I was going to be doing that. I was so grateful. And then things started to change. And right before I left that particular job, I was like, okay, Lord, I'm ready to move again, because I had taken a pay cut. I had taken quite a large pay cut uh, going into that job. And to be honest, like, I'd rather take a pay cut for peace. I'm sorry. A lot of people will work a very stressful job making six figures, and they are so stressed. And some people, they make six figures and they love their job. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the ones that will just take any job. They are the opportunists that will leave a job for another job because it makes more money. Don't even matter if you have to lick a person's toenails, you will do it because you just going to be getting the money. That's you don't want to do that, okay? Like, take the pay cut for peace if you can afford it. And at the time I could. Then it came to the point where I could not, because during COVID everything was cheap. Like, for the first year and a half, like between 2020 2021, everything was so cheap. Gas was cheap, groceries was cheap. They was giving those economy checks, I guess. I forget what they were calling them, but I was saving money. Things were okay. I was able to get a new car. Like, God was really blessing me. He was blessing me the whole time, but I didn't see it. But I could really, really feel it during that time. So, anywho, things started to change. They started to take a turn. Okay. Like, by 2022, people started coming back outside. People started to go back into the restaurants, and things just started to go up, except my pay. And at least at my previous jobs, you would get what do you call it? Every year you'll get, a dollar, a couple cents or whatever, a cost of living. You would get cost of living raise. And I didn't see that really working at that job. And I was like, my pay is not going up, but everything else is going up. My car insurance went through the roof. I think my car insurance went up like 3 times since 2022. Child. And I think everybody else's has too, but it's just been crazy. And it got to the point where I was really struggling to make ends meet. And I was working hard. I was doing what I could do. And I was asking my boss, like, I need help. Like, it felt like I was almost begging for extra work, extra time. I was looking for like part-time jobs. It was hard because of my schedule. And I was like, what am I going to do? And so, all in all, at that time, I was grateful. Like, Lord, I know you're going to do something for me. I know it. I'm grateful for what you've done. And I'm grateful that I could still pay my rent. I could still pay my insurance. I could still pay all my bills, my car note. And I had a new car note, so with the new car, and everything was just kind of feeling very overwhelming for me. And in my weight at that time, I wasn't as depressed or frustrated as I was in my other jobs. I was just kind of calm almost, because I was like, something's about to happen. Something's about to happen to me, and I have one of my sister friends, shout out to her, shout out to Victoria. She was a medical traveler, still is a medical traveler, but at the time she was a medical traveler, I was not. And she was like, girl, like, you should really look into this. And for the longest time, people were telling me that I needed to look into it, but I was too scared to do it. I didn't want to leave my family. I didn't know what it entailed because I didn't do my homework. Do your homework, child. Do your homework. But then I started to really look into it because I said, what else? What do I have to lose? Literally, what do I have to lose? I have done everything. I have lost money. I have done the work, the physical labor. What else do I have to lose? And I tried it. And probably within a month or two, I was on my way to California. And I could not believe it. I could not believe it. And it's so much more to that particular story at that facility that I worked in as a scope specialist, that I'll save. But I knew the time was coming. I was grateful too, because that job really was such a lifesaver mentally. I loved the job, but at the end, I just couldn't stay there because I couldn't afford to stay there. I needed more money. And I was just ready to get back out there into the field and to meet new people and to give people a chance, because for a while I just was kind of like a recluse. I didn't want my colleagues, as much as I love them, they can tell you that I didn't eat lunch with nobody. I still kind of don't. Like, my experiences having friends at work, and I'm not downing you meeting friends at work. I have met some really great people, like my friend Victoria that I mentioned. I've known her for almost 20 years, and I met her at work. I don't down meeting people, but you have to use your discernment on who you talk to, who you give information to. You just have to, because people are jealous. People just may not like you for your personality. They may not like you because of the way you look, or the way that people treat you, or the way, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, everybody has a reason of why they like a person or they don't like a person. So before you start going out to restaurants and going out to chill with your colleagues and stuff, get to know them first and to see if they are people that you really should be hanging out with. That's another side note. So it took me a while to even want to be around people. And at the end of my tenure at that facility, I was ready to get back out into the world. I was like, Lord, it's been 2 years. I'm grateful for what I'm spitting. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I'm ready. And I feel like God really saw the emotional maturity in me. And I take accountability for that, because a lot of times I would take things to heart. I would just get so annoyed with people and so upset. And most people didn't know it. Like, I would just kind of hold it inside, but I would just be so, huffy. Like, oh, like, why do they, why are they like that? Or why do they do that? Or why do they make such a big deal out of stuff? But people are gonna people, right? So once I feel like this is going on long, so I'm just gonna kind of make it come to a close. Somebody saying, yeah, please. All right, I'm doing it. Thank you. And thank you. If you made it this far, I just really do appreciate it. I feel like it was a lot just getting this video out. Especially, I was going to make notes. Like, I had my little notebook, and I was just like, I'm just going to talk. Cause I'm just going to be real with it and let y'all know like what I really had to go through. And it's I think this is my longest video yet, but it's a lot of people out there that are at their wits' end. They want to change, they want to go, but you have to be a little bit grateful. Like, find like at least one thing that your job offers that is holding you until you get to the next job. Like, I mean, I guess your paycheck, you get paid every 2 weeks. That's something. It may not pay much, but it's something. Or maybe they give y'all free lunch every week or every 2 weeks or every month. Some jobs don't give you nothing. You have to go get your own tuna sandwich. Maybe you can wear relaxed clothes, or a casual day. Some jobs don't do that. You gotta wear your scrubs every day. Maybe your job gives a trip. Maybe they have like what do you call those trips? Those job trips. Again, like lost for words. But maybe every year your boss gives you guys a trip to go on. I don't know what it is, but find something that you can be grateful for in the waiting time. Because if you are bitter, if you always griping, always complaining, God cannot bless you if he just don't see that you grateful here. Because if you griping and complaining here, you're going to be griping and complaining there. And the difference between the job that I left before I went to California was that I liked my job, but I saw changes happening that just didn't suit me any longer. It wasn't like I didn't like my boss. My boss was great. He left me alone. He only came to my office if there was an issue like that I could not handle on my own. He literally did not micromanage me, and I really am appreciative for him for doing that. I kind of was my own boss, and I was grateful for that. And me being grateful, I think that God said, okay, she gets it. And that's when he flew me to the other side of the country, right? And so I guess I want to just say, stop complaining and be grateful for where you are right now, because the change is going to come. The change is going to happen. Like, if you want to get out and you tired of the people being ratchet, or you tired of people just not doing their jobs and you doing everybody else's job, and you just can't take it anymore, just say, Lord, thank you for the job, thank you for the opportunity, but please help me to make my exit, because I can't take this anymore. That's what I had to talk to him. I wasn't talking to him enough, y'all. And to people that are non-believers, or you don't have a spiritual life or whatever, it's okay. Like, I really encourage you to stay. This is just, I'm speaking my piece, I'm speaking my truth, I'm speaking what I believe. And I am a believer, so I do pray, and but I do invite you to just stay and listen, and just still take the notes of being grateful for where you are, so you can kind of start doing the work to get to where you want to be. And I do hope and pray that one day you'll be open to having a belief system. Another side piece. But if you have any questions, I feel like I tapped into everything. The final word, I think the gist of it is just to not complain as much. Every job that I go to is one person that complains all the time, but they've been working in that position for 47 years. And I'm like, what? Can you just leave me alone? Like, I don't want to hear how Margaret always sitting in your chair. I don't want to hear how Roy is always eating with his mouth open. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how the boss don't know what he's doing. Child, you could have been the boss 20 years ago, but you still doing what you're doing, child. You didn't do no homework, no education, didn't try. You just want to sit and complain. That's the person I'm really talking to, because I was that person, complaining. I was just depressed and complaining. And I know, shout out to my friends. They never said like, girl, I don't feel like hearing this. I kind of got, I guess, the discernment to say, hey, like, what the heck are you doing? What, like, go find another job. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and telling you to stay where you are. You can leave whenever you want to. And I had to do that quite a couple times now. And that's my testimony. But if you want to change, you have to do the work. I feel like I feel like Kim Kardashian. You have to get up, do the work, move your butt, and get to it. Okay? Like, you have to do something different to be somewhere different. Like, when I jumped up and flew to Los Angeles, I never thought that if you told me that I was going to be doing that a year prior, I would not believe you. I didn't even know I was going to be doing it a month prior. I didn't know. I was like, I'm really going to Los Angeles. Even on the plane, I'm like, I'm really flying to Los Angeles. Even when I landed, I'm like, I really flew across the country. Like, my family is really 3,000 miles away. But it was such an eye-opener. And I'm so glad I did it. That is coming too. That's a whole story in itself. But this little mini series, I just wanted to tell you to just get up, y'all. This is your chance to make the move. If you listen to this, you want to get your trucking company together. You even if you got a little van outside, get the van together. Don't give that Ponzi scheme, triangle, a pyramid scheme your $2,000. Use that $2,000 to get the radiator fixed for your van and go and get your carpet company together. You know how to do carpets. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Everybody wants to be successful and get to the top so fast. They don't want to do the work, but sometimes work gotta be involved. And it don't have to be hard work. You can ask God to make it easy for you. Sometimes we're scared because we think that it's going to be so hard to get to where we need to be successful, but it don't have to be. I asked God to make it easy for me. When I was coming back from California, I said, God, please make this next thing easy. Please make it easy for me. Make the processes easy. And you know what? He did it. Now, I had to drive 3 hours a day. And to some people, that is not easy. But even in that, he made it so that I'm still alive. I'm still alive. You know, I thought, man, driving next to all these tractor trailers every night, seeing some swerving, seeing some in a ditch, seeing deer splattered all over the road. Like, I was like, how am I do this? Sometimes I would be falling asleep on the road, y'all. And there was some tears, you know. But all in all, I made it. And it was easy. Shout out to my colleagues at my last contract. It just ended this past Saturday. So I'm very excited that the driving part is over, but I am sad that I'm leaving them behind. But it's on to the next chapter. It's on to the next thing. And thank God I don't have to drive for 3 hours, at least for now. And I'm hoping and praying that if you're watching this and you're looking for the new, that you're grateful for where you are right now. You know, I know it's not easy. I know it is so frustrating. I have been there crying, wanting to quit. I have quit. And just wanting something so different. But you have to find something to be grateful for. If you have lights on right now, if you have a can of beans in your cabinet, if you have Wi-Fi, if your phone's still on, if you watching this on your phone, that means your phone is not cut off. Be grateful that your job, no matter how much it's paying you, it gave you enough to watch me right now. So be grateful in the wait. Do your work. Do your due diligence. I cannot say that word. Do your due diligence to get to the next phase of your life. And I promise you, it's going to work. It's going to work out. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. And if you're around people that complain, politely shut it down or just get out of there. Go to the next room. Say, you know what? I got to go do such and such. Don't be around that, because if you're around people like that, I guarantee you it will start to melt off onto you. It's happened to me. Unless you are very strong and say, look, get out of here with all of that. Like, get out my face. I don't talk to people like that, but it's some people that be like for real, I don't feel like hearing it. Like, just get out my face. Shut it down. Shut down the negativity. Be as positive as you can be, because if you go into the next step, you got to have some type of joy inside, because you're like, I'm not staying here anyway. I'm not staying here. I'm out already. And you have to look at it as though you're already gone. Not check out, not do your work or leave your colleagues like just hanging. I'm not saying that. But look into the future as if you already, you already have that dream job. You already have that dream schedule. You already have that dream position. I didn't do that before. I was always just scrambling for the next money opportunity, scrambling because I think this is going to be so easy. And it wasn't. I lost out on a lot. But I gained more back. And I'm so grateful right now. Like people looking at me, even my mama, she was just like, oh, okay, you happy? I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. I do not have to drive an hour and a half to work tonight and an hour to 2 hours tomorrow morning to get home. I'm going to get off at 7:30, child, and I'm going to be home by 8. Okay? And I'm grateful for that. So, I love y'all. For real. Like, I really care for people. That I know that my journey includes people somehow. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. But I am a lover of people. I do like to talk to people, as you can see. And I want the best for humanity. That sounds like I'm trying to be Miss America or something. But truly, I do care for people. And I didn't have these resources to listen to 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I was just kind of out, just doing my own thing, without even praying. I mean, you'll always have prayer, so utilize that. Journal, go get some therapy. Don't go postal. Don't go cursing nobody out. Don't do nothing crazy. I've even seen that, child, and man, like you're only hurting yourself when you do those things. If you have to leave before you do that, because that follows you around and you won't be able to work anywhere in your field unless, you go on the underground, But do your best and just work. Just work. I'm telling you, a month from now, you can be in a different position. You can be somewhere else. It's not impossible. It really is. And I see people locked up in their own minds because they think that where they are is it. That's just it. That's it. Is no other plan, no other opportunity. And they have all of these inventions and all of these ideas that just go to waste because they just think that they can't do anything with it. Nobody's going to listen to them, but just do something. Do something. Reach out to somebody, or, go and see what's available in that field. If you want to make your own spices, go look up the spice company in your area. And you might be an operations technician, but at least you are in the warehouse, right? And you can work yourself up. You never know what can happen. Okay? Do something. Do something. It's an opportunity out there all the time. And when you see it and it works for you and you're not leaving people hanging and is going to benefit you. And I want to say sometimes you just got to go. I won't say like the leaving people hanging part, because I'm pretty sure that some people saw me as leaving them hanging when I quit. But I had to do what I had to do for myself, because for so long I was so loyal and I just always stayed, because I didn't want to leave anybody else behind. But at the end of the day, all you have is you. Your job will be fine. That's what managers are for. They gonna figure it out. But if you have a plan, do what you need to do to work on that plan to get to the next thing, and it'll work out. Just don't complain, because your coworkers don't like it. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. I just want to say that. Let me get that out. Nobody wants to hear you complain. It's tiring. People will, people talk, and, you might have a little something here to say or whatever. But if it's every day and you always talking about somebody, and you always talk, and you talking, first of all, running your mouth about the job, you probably not doing your work. Okay? That's first of all. If all you doing is chatting about what people not doing, you're not doing your job either. So stop complaining. Get on that computer when you get home or on your break. Look for jobs. Get your resume together. Put it in. Start looking on YouTube for different in that particular career or that business that you want. Start doing the homework, and before you know it, child, you a billionaire. So anyway, this has been almost an hour. I think this is my longest video. Check back in for the next Grateful in the Wait relationship segment. I'm actually looking forward to that one. I might have to take notes for that. But anyway, be grateful, and I will see y'all on the next one. All right, I love you. Bye.